Hope lives always. Yesterday I shared with you what happened when I put up one of these signs in a stairwell, and a stranger saw me and thanked me for doing so. I went back to my dorm room and I saw the stack of yellow paper that I bought just to make 3 of these signs, and I saw my printer sitting there, and well, I decided that I wasn't just going to do 3 signs anymore. On that night, I printed, using all the paper, about 300 of these signs. And in the middle of the night, I went around the campus, placing them everywhere that I would walk. The idea was to stretch that 10-foot radius, or 10-yard radius that had become a radius of just to one class and back, to everywhere that I would go. If I went to eat, I'd see one. If I walked out of a building, I'd see one. And my goal was to make it where you could see the next one from the last one. That there was no place that I could go where I wouldn't be reminded that I needed to love other people more, that I needed to be more conscious of them. The campus awoke to a love others sign everywhere. And I wasn't sure how people were going to respond to this. I didn't really know. I know it meant a lot to that one girl in the stairwell, but I wasn't prepared for what was going to happen. Over the next few days, I'll share with you some of those stories, but I'll share one today. The signs started being taken down. I knew where I placed most of them because I had placed them around the campus, but I started to notice that they were popping up in places that I didn't put them. People were taking them down and putting them in the back windshields of their car. People were taking them down and putting them on the windows in their dorm rooms. No one knew who was doing this, but it didn't matter. They saw these signs as something that they wanted to bring to where they were. And I started to wonder if maybe my desire to be more loving to others and doing something crazy like putting up 300 of these signs would help me to be more loving to others. I wondered if it was going to do the same for other people. I can't report that I noticed a huge change in people on campus, but I did notice that these signs were making a difference to people, at least in that they were moving them to where they were. And that's what I want to share with you today. That hope is one of those things that sometimes we find it over here, and we want to bring it with us so that we can bring it over there. When I went to Israel, I noticed that the mountains are covered in mustard plants. Just all these mountains are just yellow with mustard plants, yellow like these signs. And it made me think of what happened with those signs. Jesus says that faith like a mustard seed can move a mountain. Well, the mountain is literally covered in mustard seed. And it made me think that maybe faith is calling us to move those mountains with us as well, and to create and spark faith in others. Because hope lives always.